Alright, let's go over last night's homework. So with number 1, we start, it's x equals 5y minus 6. So the x is by itself, which means we can plug it in to the second equation. As soon as my thing starts working. Onward. So it's 5y minus 6 plus 2y equals 8. It gives us 7y minus 6 equals 8. Add the 6 over, 7y equals 14. Divide by 7, y equals 2. Take that y equals 2 and plug it into the top equation. You get x equals 5 times 2 minus 6, which is 4. So your answer would be 4, 2. Number 2. You see that we can just add them together because they have the same coefficient and they're opposite signs. So add them together. Those cancel. You get 4y equals 8. Divide by 4, y equals 2. Now, you have to take and plug that back in. Noticed on a lot of the homeworks, people were solving for one variable and stopping. Let's find both variables. You only get half credit. Also notice when you just write random answers in. Imagine how that works. Negative 2x plus 2 equals 5. Subtract the 2 over, you get negative 2x equals 3. Divide by negative 2, x equals negative 3 over 2. So your answer would be negative 3 over 2 and 2. Look at number 3. None of our variables or none of our coefficients are the same, and variables aren't by themselves. But I see that 2 can go into 4. So in order to get 2 to go into 4, I have to multiply by 2. But they have to be opposite signs in order to cancel out. So I need to multiply by a negative 2. That way your x's will cancel out. They have to be opposite signs. So it's negative 4x minus 6y equals negative 12. And that's 4x plus 6y equals 18. Now your x's cancel, your y's cancel, you're left with 0 equals 6. When is that true? Never. So it's no solutions. Number 4. Coefficients aren't the same and variables aren't by themselves. 3 doesn't go into 4, 4 doesn't go into 3, 2 doesn't go into 7, 7 doesn't go into 2. So we can multiply by whatever the other variable is, or whatever the other coefficient is. So if I want to get rid of my x's, I'm going to multiply the top by negative 4 and the bottom by 3. It's going to give me negative 12x minus 8y equals negative 28. On the bottom, it's going to give me 12x plus 21y equals 3 times 18 is 54. X's canceled just like I wanted them to. 21 minus 8 is 13. 54 minus 28. I don't know. 26. Divide by 13. Y equals 2. Take that y equals 2 and plug it into either equation. 3x plus 2 times 2 is 4 equals 7. Subtract 4 over, you get 3x equals 3. Divide by 3, x equals 1. So your answer would be 1, 2. Number 5. I see that I have my y by itself, so I can plug x plus 4 in for y. That gives me 3x minus 2 times x plus 4 equals negative 7. Distribute to negative 2 gives you 3x minus 2x minus 8 equals negative 7. 3x minus 2x gives you x minus 8 equals negative 7. Add the 8 over, x equals 1. Plug that back into the second equation, and you get y equals 1 plus 4, which is 5. So your answer would be 1, 5. Number 6. Now see how you have 3x, and if you divide by the 3, it stays ugly over here. And it'd be the same thing if you divided by 14, it stays ugly over here. So what I would actually do is get my 7y over to here. 3x plus 7y equals 2. Then add my 6x over, and I have 6x plus 14y equals 4. Now, your variables are on the same side, but the coefficients are different. But I see a 3 will go into 6, so I'm going to multiply the top one by negative 2. It gives me negative 6x minus 14y equals negative 4. I don't know why I put that line there. Then your bottom equation stays the same, 6x plus 14y equals 4. Now I can put the line. Now we just add them together. Negative 6x and 6 cancel. Negative 14 and 14 cancel. Left with 0. And negative 4 plus 4 is 0. When is 0 equal to 0? Always. So this would be infinite solutions. Number 7. I see that 4 can go into 8, or negative 3 can go into 6. We'll get rid of the y this time, for no good reason. 4x plus 6y equals negative 10. It's going to be 16x minus 6y equals negative 10. Those cancel. 20x equals negative 20. Divide by 20, you get x equals negative 1. Plug that into the top equation. 4 times negative 1 plus 6y equals negative 10. Gives you negative 4 plus 6y equals negative 10. Add 4 to the other side, gives you 6y equals negative 6. Divide by 6, y equals negative 1. So your answer would be negative 1, negative 1. Number 8. This is an ugly one. 3 doesn't go into 8, 7 doesn't go into 5, 5 doesn't go into 7. We got to multiply both of them. Multiply the bottom by negative 8, top by 3. It's going to be 24x minus 21y equals 15. Bottom is negative 24x plus 40y equals negative 72. Those cancel. 40 minus 21 is 19. Negative 72 plus 15 is 57. Divide both sides by 19. Y equals 3. And I take the y equals 3 and plug it in. 8x minus 7 times 3 equals 5. 8x minus 21 equals 5. Add the 21 over, you get 8x equals 26. Divide by 8, you get x equals 26 over 8, which is approximately 3.25. It's not approximate, that's what it is. 3.25 and 3. Okay, last two. Here. Now don't get caught up. A lot of people will just look at the x variables all the time. Say, oh, I gotta multiply this bottom one by 3. You can, and it'll give you the right answer, but it's just harder. You can just add these two together and your y's will cancel. You get 8x equals negative 16. Divide by 8, x equals negative 2. Plug the negative 2 back in. You get 2 times negative 2 minus 3y equals negative 7. Gives you negative 4 minus 3y equals negative 7. Add the 4 over, you get negative 3y equals negative 3. So y equals 1. Negative 2, 1. Okay, last one. Now, if you look at the example above, you might think that we should just subtract this 2y over to get it all on the same side. But if we divided by the 2 to get the x by itself, see how 2 goes into here and here? It'll make it a cleaner problem. So we divide both sides by 2, you get x equals y plus 3. Now we can substitute y plus 3 in for x. So 5 times y plus 3 minus 2y equals 18. Gives you 5y plus 15 minus 2y equals 18. Gives you 3y plus 15 equals 18. 3y equals 3. And y equals 1. Now you take that y equals 1, substitute it in up here, you get x equals 4. So your answer would be 4, 1. And that's all of last night's assignment. 6-4 multiplication day 3. You're going to love today. I promise. In other words, you're going to hate it. Today's objective, you will be able to solve a word problem that involves multiplication to solve. So these are like classic word problems. They seem real confusing, but I want you to apply the same principle to every one of them. Okay? Example 1. Johnny has 255 in nickels and dimes. He has a total of 31 coins. How many of each coin does he have? Ugh. So first thing I want you to do is assign your variables. I want you to say N is nickels and D is dimes. Okay. Then, how many nickels and dimes does he have total? There's a total of 31 coins. So N plus D equals 31. So we haven't put any money into it at all. Now we know something's going to have to add up to 255. And this is actually the easy part. You just have to think it through. The money is going to go together and the number of nickels and dimes goes together. So the nickels plus the dimes equals 31. Then what is the value of a nickel? It's 5 cents, which is 0.05. So 0.05 N plus, then a dime is 10 cents. So 0.10 D equals 255. Now you have two separate equations. And now I have to figure out what can I multiply the bottom by to get rid of one of my variables. Well, just think of how many nickels or dimes are in a dollar. 10 dimes in a dollar, right? So I'm going to multiply this by negative 10 because it has to cancel out with this D up here. That's why it's going to be negative. But there's 10 dimes in a dollar, so I'm going to do 10 times 0.1. Why am I looking at a dollar? Because this is a 1 in front of you, so it would be like, well, I guess that's dime, not dollar. But the point is, you want to get this to where instead of being 1/10 of a dime, it's got to be one whole. All right, so that gives you N plus D equals 31. And this is going to give you negative 0.5 N. I'm going to spread this N plus D out. N plus D equals 31. And this is going to give you negative 0.5 N minus, then 10 times 0.1 is just 1. And then you do negative 10 times 2.55, and that gives you 25.5. So these cancel out. You get negative 0.5 N equals, and I believe it's going to be 5.5. Yeah. So N minus 0.5 is going to be positive 0.5 equals 5.5. Then N equals 11. So you have 11 nickels. If you have 11 nickels, how many dimes does that mean you have? They have a total of 31, so that means 20 dimes. Okay? Example 2. Cost $8 for adults and $5 for kids at the movie theater. So I'm going to have A, the adults, and K, the kids. Sounds just makes sense. Okay, how many tickets did they sell? 107. How do you come up with 107 tickets? There has to be a certain number of adults and a certain number of kids. So A plus K equals the total tickets. Then to come up with the money, it's 8A plus 5K equals whatever the dollar amount is. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Now you treat it just like a regular problem. How do I get rid of my A or a K? Well, let's say I want to get rid of my K. I would multiply this top equation by negative 5. Gives me negative 5A minus 5K equals 107 times 5. 35, gives you 535. And that's so, and then you have your second equation, 8A plus 5K equals 670. By the way, that's a negative 535 because we multiplied everything by negative 5. Negative 5A plus 8A should give you 3A equals, because that cancels out, the negative 535 plus 670 is going to give you 135. Right? I'm bad at mental math. I think it's 125. Oh, sorry, it's 135. Then we divide by 3. It gives you 8 equals 3 goes into 13 4 times. 1 left, 45. So 8 equals 45. Then we know the original tickets was 107, so you just do 107 minus 45 to find the other one. And that gives kids equals 62. So 45 adults and 62 kids. Okay, you are going to practice with regular problems and then with your word problems. On Monday, we're going to go over this. Your homework. I haven't decided yet whether we're going to move on. So if you're confused about the word problems, send me an email over the weekend, preferably before Sunday. Send me an email over the weekend so I can figure out whether we spend another day on the word problems or move on to the last section. Speaking of which, there's only one section left. Which means you're probably going to have a chapter test, not next week, but the week after. Alright guys,